Hello everybody, this is Edward Ashley, and this is video numero nueve, number 9. So, so today I just came back. I finally got the papers from the partners on the other side. I just came back from having my seller sign all of these. So now I've got to scan them in and send them off. So that's done. We got this part done. He's still got a few things to do, but we're moving on. We're moving on down the road. And once it's all complete, I said to Leigh, so what are we looking at? 3, 4, 5 months? I said, oh no, hopefully not more than, like 4, maybe 5 weeks at the most. Once we get everything going, maybe less, but takes what it takes. Anyway, I started driving for dollars, which is getting in my car and we're driving through the neighborhoods. And it's actually getting excited because I'm finding these vacant houses that are sitting there saying, hey, help, help, get me sold so I can get back into productive use. I'm falling apart here. I'm getting old because nobody's using me. I feel lonely. Of course, I have a vivid, wild imagination. That's how I do it. That's me, right? That's me. So anyway, I'm getting excited because I'm finding these houses, and I was like, wow, if I find 30 or 40 of these a month, I know I'm going to have 3 or 4 or 5 deals every single month. And my goal is to find like 30 of these a week, 30 to 100 of these a week. And I started out today, and I got interrupted, but like in the first couple of blocks, it's like I found 3 houses. Like, whoa. Of course, it's in that part of the neighborhood where it's more than likely to happen. In this current market, for the first time, that neighborhood has become a great place to look. So I went out yesterday for a few hours. I got 4 houses out of that in the afternoon. But I'm going to finish this area here where I am. I got to finish doing this, go back out, and then I got a meeting at 6 o'clock. I'm not going to have a lot of time today, but I'm going to set my alarm tomorrow, probably about 5, so that by 7:30 when the sun's coming out, I can get out and get after this. Because I need to get more of these. I need, I think this will be far more effective than what I've been doing. And I've got a few calls back from my letters, but nothing serious. I've had some suspects calling, but nobody's serious. And one guy was actually, arguing with me that, well, are you actually the one going to buy this? I said, well, I have partners. I might buy it. I might buy it with somebody. Might actually, let somebody else buy it. And he said, oh, and he hung up. So I wrote him back and says, what difference does it make if the house is sold? Turns out he's got it listed, which isn't good for us. We just aren't, because we're trying to negotiate the best price we can to resell it. But depending on the property, like pretty houses, I don't need a whole lot. I just don't need to pay commission. I don't need to, because I put as little as possible in to solve a problem. If they don't have a problem, they don't need to deal with it. If they just want to sell and they can wait for it to get full maximum price, they need to do that because that's the best solution to their to what they're doing. But if they have an issue, they can't use realtor. They can't afford a realtor because there's not enough margin in it to pay the 6%. And the average house now, here, the average entry level house, you're looking at 300 grand, 300 to 400,000. So you're looking at 6% of 300. You're looking at 18 grand. At 400,000 is $24,000, and people are going 24. That's like, and if the 24,000 isn't there for the commissions plus all the other fees, they're having issues. They got it for sale by owner. So that's where I come in and I call these for sale by owners and say, hey, do you need all cash or sometimes what's happened is they had rentals. And because of COVID, these rentals weren't paying anything because the moratorium. So their tenants weren't paying, and then they did the best they could. Some tenants were but they lose like 1 or 2 houses or apartments or whatever it is. They need to get rid of it because they're behind before it gets way behind. And so I can come in and buy it for what they owe, and then find a buyer tenant who will actually pay not just pay the back that they owe, but pay enough down that we can cover that, and I get a little bit after closing, and I get a difference between what they're paying me and what I'm paying out. So it sounds complicated. It's really simple, but it's that's definitely the way I'm trying to do this. But And then last thing. Okay, outside. You know, my reason for doing this, one, is to stay accountable to myself by involving you all. I want to stay accountable to me by involving you all, and by doing that, I also want to inspire. You know, I'm 62, and my life is starting over. I'm starting over, and I'm having a blast. I see, like, to me, you know, my grandfather was 96 when he died, and it's like, which means I have like 34 years. 34 years if I stay healthy, which is a good long time, provided the good Lord hasn't come yet. But I got 34 years of a really great life if I choose to live and not, you know, so many people are like, "Ah, you know, I'm 55, my life is over, I'll go die," and they do. It's the craziest thing they do because the mindset. My life is just starting over. You know, I'm looking forward to getting married again one day. I know, call it insanity. And one day I'll get married, but I'm not going to do it until certain things are in place. And who knows? You know, I believe God is nurturing or healing somebody for me and me for somebody else. And so that's that. But what is it you want to do? What do you really want to do? Are you living your best life now? And don't come up with all this BS excuses, this and that, because that's all they are, excuses. If you really want to do something, everything you need is within your reach, believe it or not. We talked about the reticular activating system yesterday. One of the reasons people do affirmations or the questions I was talking about in a positive way. Why am I doing so? And even though you don't see the evidence, but why am I so successful? What and all of that is because you want your reticular activating system to open up and show you who and what is around you that'll take you to the next step. You don't need to see the whole staircase. But as Jack Canfield talked about in the movie The Secret, you know, it's like driving from New York to California at nighttime, and as an extra, I always drove at night. All I need to see is that 400 feet of road in front of me. And when I get that far, I can see the next 400 feet. And I can travel from New York to California and back at night. I don't need to see the whole journey. The same way with success. We don't need to see the whole journey. We just need to see the next step. And then we take that step, we get that accomplished, and we take the next step and the next step. And have the brass tacks. I was going to say something else, right? The brass tacks or the intestinal fortitude, the gumption, whatever you want to use. But have the initiative to move forward no matter what. We don't have to accept the scrapes. We don't, average is not really average. You know what I'm saying? Average is accepting a mediocre life and calling it good because everybody else is living the mediocre life. And go back to the Social Security stats. Out of 100 people who started at age 25, by the age of 65, 1 is rich, 4 can maintain their way of living when they quit working. Everybody else is either dead or dead broke. Everybody else is either dead or dead broke. So if you have to pull back on your lifestyle, if you have to live off of friends and relatives, if you got to go work at Walmart after you retire, you're broke. You're broke. And you say, well, I like what, well, rich people, like Warren Buffett hasn't stopped working. So he's just gravelicious. Maybe he is, maybe he's not, but he gives away hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Every year. You doing that? Just saying. Are you even paying tithe? Are you paying tithe? And then on top of that, you're doing offering. Since I was homeless, I've been paying 10% tithe and 10% offering, believing that God has already blessed me. I just haven't walked into it yet. And now I'm believing that I'm walking into it this year. I'm walking into this year. 1/5 of everything I make goes back to God as I understand it. You understand? And you don't have to send it to a church. I talked about it in another video. But you have to send it somewhere. Martin Luther King Center, Red Cross, Vanessa Behan, and on and on and on. You know, there are many ministries or civic organizations who need your financial help. Pick 2 and donate all your money to those. That's what I've done. Just pick 2 and donate it there. I think oftentimes we're trying to to help everything possible. So out of $100, 10,000 people get a penny. Doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense. Or 1,000 people. Sorry. No, $100, 10,000 people get a penny. So it doesn't make sense. So pick two and divide it all up between there, and give graciously with gratitude for being able to do that, and watch how your life changes. And then take the chance, take the risk of actually stepping into it. I don't care how old you are. There's a couple people who really inspired me. There's a couple of twin ladies who started lifting weights in their 60s. One of them's almost 90, and she's still competing as a bodybuilder. Almost 90, still competing as a bodybuilder. There's a bunch of guys there's one guy, and I can't remember their names, otherwise I tell you. He got divorced and started lifting weights in his 50s. In his 60s, he's competing and winning bodybuilding competitions. And I say when we get older, our bodies start to fall apart. Yet here people who in their 50s and 60s start lifting weights for the first time. And now they're so involved that they're doing bodybuilding competitions and placing and or winning. So what's your excuse for what you want to do? I mean, whether it's bodybuilding, you want to sing. Every now and again I go do karaoke. I don't make it a habit, but in my 12-step group, we're getting ready to put on a dance in April, and it's gonna get a DJ who's got the karaoke stuff, so I'll be able to do that with my people, and I'm looking forward to that because I love singing. I love to sing. I don't have to get paid. I've been paid to do it, but I don't need to get paid. I've been in a few bands. But what do you really want to do? What do you really want to do? Are you willing to take the chance? Are you willing to bet on you and not make any more excuses? I threw it all in the ring. So I'm glad you're following me. You'll see me crash. You'll see me burn. You'll see me rise back up out of the ashes like the phoenix. All because I believe, and I'm sure this is where God wants me. So thank you. Have a good day. Okay, bye.